Everyone's thinking it. Everyone. Literally every person's probably thinking, when will Super Smash Bros. Melee be added to the GameCube service? And that's a difficult question to answer, because there's one aspect that is kind of probably in the way of having this, is the competitive scene. Now, Nintendo just doesn't really rate the competitive scene. At the same time, they kind of do support it, or they did support it. I think nowadays they're just, I really don't know. You guys, like, let me know in the comment section below what absolutely is the reasoning for Nintendo being so anti-supportive of the competitive scene. I mean, it's just kind of bizarre to me, but hey, I'm not sure myself, and it would be cool if they could support it. And there's always a plane flying around whenever I'm recording. Like, can't you see him recording? Jeez. Anyway, ignoring the plane, which always seems to be there, Super Smash Bros. Melee would be a cool addition to the service. I mean, playing that game online would be dope. Like, you wouldn't even have to worry about the days of where you couldn't play it. But having that game played, especially with all your friends, would be fantastic. I mean, that would be awesome. Like, imagine you just, you can kind of create the experiences like back in the day, but from afar. Maybe you boot up game chat, or most likely you'll boot up Discord or something like that, WhatsApp, whatever your preferences is when it comes to chatting with your friends, and battling it out, duking it out, playing as Fox, Falco, Peach, Zelda, random characters like that, all together, just having fun. It would be awesome. But the problem is, I know another thing is that they haven't added the N64 Smash Bros. Game, which you thought would be a no-brainer. And I guess it would have made sense not to release it probably in the time frame that Ultimate was still kind of getting more DLC, so I can understand that, but afterwards they could have blatantly added it. Again, I really hope they know what they're doing, because Super Smash Bros. Melee would definitely bring more customers to your service, in my opinion. I mean, it's just probably a fact at this point that it would. Having it not be there is a little bit strange, and it's probably the biggest game. It's like, well, it's pretty much like having, maybe a PS2 Classic and not having San Andreas there or something like that. I don't know. It's really bizarre that you would leave out the big game of the GameCube, which pretty much was a launch title for the GameCube in a sense. I think. I'm not sure actually. But again, it's just that big. Having it not be there is really strange. And maybe they're worried that the next game won't be played as much competitively, or played as much because of Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is, maybe likely, but it depends on what it offers the next game exactly. So I don't feel like they have to really worry. People will definitely play the new game, but if you think about it, something that always happens when it comes to fighting games, even though I guess Smash isn't a traditional fighting game, is this idea that if people don't like the new game, they'll just go to the old game. To be frank, that doesn't always just apply to fighting games. I feel like that just applies to any game. A shoot 'em up or any of them really has this issue where if the first or the new game does not deliver, it would most likely just go back to the older game. I don't know, something, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, what game can I think of? I'm gonna just use, for example, maybe if people didn't like Tekken, well actually it's kind of happening, but if people didn't like Tekken 8, they would probably just go back and play the older games, like maybe Tekken 7 or Tekken 5, or yeah, more than likely Tekken 5. So they'll probably go back and play those type of games, right? They wouldn't always just go and be like, yeah, the new game's just not for me. They might just go back, it is normal, I would say, or it does happen when it comes to any game franchise. So maybe they're trying to counteract that, I don't know, but it doesn't make sense when you have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is there and it will probably be playable. Now again, I noticed that game isn't getting the next gen patch, so maybe they're trying to make it so the new game has better visuals and that it doesn't, I don't know, I really don't know. I'm trying to come up with some sort of theory of why this game wouldn't be added. Maybe it will. I mean, they didn't announce every sort of game in the GameCube trailer. and announcements, stuff like that. So possibility that probably it will come to the service, but I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath. That's all I'm gonna say. I really hope they do, because it would be very bizarre. Maybe down the road they should. But there's some games that haven't actually been added to the Switch Online service, which I find really bizarre. I probably think the most famous one is Donkey Kong N64. Why haven't that been added? I mean, for Pete's sake, we got Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Why don't we have Donkey Kong N64? It's really bizarre to me. There's just certain things that just don't add up when it comes to Nintendo's decisions. And I guess you could say the same thing with Wind Waker and all that stuff. Like, well, guess we're not gonna get the HD ports, which, again, that's a topic for another video. And I just really don't know what else to really add. Other than that, I really hope they do. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you think we'll get one? And if not, why? And can you also explain, or can someone explain why they have such a grudge, or I guess distaste for the competitive scene? I can't remember fully. I remember watching the video, but I completely forgot. So please let me know in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more gaming content or Nintendo content, or just anything really related to games. And make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you can get my videos first, as always. So, peace out guys, and have a lovely day.